So last we left off, Torek and Red honestly told Tom we were looking for a way to copy a book that we planned to steal. Tom, however, didn't have any problem with copying a book though, and offered an item that was essentially a blank book that you could put on top of another book, and over time it would copy the contents. All you needed was a jar of ink to make it work. And time, of course. So we decided to get that. Back at the inn, Torek gets a cryptic letter from Goblin Jim asking for help. He heads to the circus and learns that the goblin dropped his ring of intelligence down a grate, and it was only a matter of time before he fully reverts back to his savage nature. Quickly, Torek heads back to the inn and asks Red and Alzahar to follow him into the sewers. Alzahar, always suspicious of the wizard, demands to know why. However, Torek believes that if he told Alzahar he was trying to help a goblin, then he may not be willing to help at all, especially not if he finds out that it's the same goblin he got arrested for trying to kill earlier. So he answers all his questions indirectly, and they begin a long-winded argument until Red interrupts, saying that someone just showed up offering to buy Sanoth's head. Torek, glad for the change of topic, decides they should give the head to Logan to sell since he could probably get a better price for it. Then he directs the group to the circus, where Alzahar continues to argue along the way, this time about why it's a bad idea to sell Sanoth's head. Torek, sick of arguing with the paladin, turns invisible and walks away. Alzahar likewise heads back to the inn and uses emotional blackmail to convince Logan not to sell the head. He instead instructs Logan to hide the head somewhere so that no one could find it. Meanwhile, at the circus, Torek and Red meet a pixie who is willing to guide them through the sewers. They decide to leave Alzahar behind since he insisted on arguing over every little detail and made their way to the sewer entrance. Inside, the tunnel is only 5 feet wide, so they have to go single file with Torek up front. He eventually spots something at the periphery of his vision and immediately assumes it's a slime. Unfortunately, if he tells Red this, she'd want to fight it, and he wasn't sure how lucky they'd be with just the two of them. So, he instead screams, "Poison gas, run!" And they head back out of the sewer. The whole way, Torek is shooting firebolts at the slow-moving creature every 15 feet until it dies. He quickly goes back and loots a +2 sword before leaving the sewers and looking for Alzahar. This time, instead of asking Alzahar to help, since he clearly isn't one for doing favors for the wizard, Torek gives him the sword as an apology present and offers to pay for any damage to his armor if he helps them fight some slimes and locate the lost ring. The wizard intentionally leaves out the fact that the owner is a goblin though, and the three of them head back to the sewers. Luckily, the slimes aren't too hard and they eventually come across a baby red dragon. Earlier, when Red and Torek first went to the circus, apparently the barbarian had set the caged baby dragon free, and it's been living in the sewers this whole time. We also learned that, for some odd reason, the barbarian can speak Draconic and basically adopts the baby dragon. As we prepare to escort it out, we find that it is sitting on a small pile of treasure. It's just a bunch of loose change and jewelry. Luckily, the ring is also there, and they take it with them. Upon exiting the sewers, they run into two wizards waiting for them. They explain that they want Goblin Jim's ring so that they could study the effects it has on goblins and possibly use it to rehabilitate their savage nature and make them into decent citizens. Alzahar actually considers giving the ring to the wizards, but Torek doesn't trust them at all and refuses, trying to flee in the process. However, the paladin uses the command spell to halt Torek in his tracks and blocks his exit. Remember, this whole time Torek has intentionally left out that the ring belongs to a goblin because the paladin has a very racist tendency to kill them on sight no matter what. In his mind, it doesn't make sense for Alzahar to suddenly agree to help goblins out of the blue. He was also super suspicious of the wizards. So, when Alzahar continued to speak to the two, Torek summoned his hawk familiar and gave it the ring, ordering it to return it to Goblin Jim. He also turned the red dragon invisible so that Red could leave with it undetected. Once Alzahar realizes Torek no longer has the ring, he insists on accompanying the wizard to the owner's home. Worried for Goblin Jim, Torek also comes along. Back at the circus, Goblin Jim is at his trailer, but not wearing the ring. He appears to be fine, as it seems the effects of the ring became permanent after he wore it for so long. That or some other magical force made it permanent. Either way, Jim agrees to let the wizards take the ring, now that he knows it'll no longer turn him crazy. As the group is about to leave, the city guards arrive and arrest both Torek and Alzahar for murdering John the cart driver.